Hello snowboarders of the internet, I'm your host Avran LeFeber, and in this video we're going to be reviewing the Capita Mercury. This board features Capita's Resort V2 directional, so what you get is camber with rocker in the tip and the tail. They call it reverse, it's the same thing as rocker. It's basically cam rocker. So you're going to get all that load, pop, snap, and drive of traditional camber underfoot. But with that rocker in the tips, you're going to get ease of entry in and out of turns, as well as more optimal powder float and a nice little sweet spot to butter and press with. This board is available in 147, 150, 153, 155, 157, 159, 161, 156 wide, 158 wide, 160 wide. I rode this board at Copper Mountain on a day that was mostly bluebird. You had light winds. You had soft leftover pow in the shade, hot pow in the sun, perfect groomers, just a great all-around Colorado day, and I rode it with my Rome Black Label bindings and my K2 Thraxis boots. This board has what I like to call the quintessential all-mountain freestyle flex. It's consistent and it's predictable. You have softer tips, stiffer midsection, with a torsional flex that matches up to it that's easy to engage but quick to rebound. You are going to get a little bit of chatter in the nose, and that resonates back underfoot. It's not enough to ruin your day, but it's there. With this board, two things happen when you get into lumpy terrain. If you're going at the right speed, it bends and flexes with everything. If you're not, it kind of skips over the top. You're going to feel those jarring hits if you slam into the uphill side of things, and if you keep your knees bent, you're not going to get bucked around. You're going straight leg, well, you're going down probably. This is one of those boards that, like I said, feels consistent when you ride it. If you load up the camber section, roll back on the tail, the more you put in, the more you're going to boost. You want to be laid back, you're still getting good snap and spring from it, but if you put a lot more in, you're going to be able to ollie over those fat little skier kids that keep getting in your goddamn way. You parents, why do you keep producing fat little skier kids? They keep getting in my way. You want to ollie a slow side? Not a problem. Boost a side hit? Go for it. That translates over to jumps. Small, medium, and large, this thing's got you covered. It's got more than enough stature and girth to be able to hit bigger features or still cruise something smaller. You load it up and pop off the lip, you're going higher and further. That's just a given with it. It's still gonna set down fine in the landing. You wanna be laid back, let the lip do the work? You're making it to the sweet spot just fine. This board can get you in the air and be consistent and not cause you to flail around and worry that you're not gonna make it past the knuckle. All right, you know you like this video, so why don't you give it a thumbs up? Do it, it's right down there. You know you want to. And while you're down there, if you haven't subscribed, do that. Click the bell, get those notifications, that way you're not missing any of the videos we got coming out for you. You have these nice sweet spots in the nose and the tail, and then you've got the wapow kicks out there as well. When you press into the contact point and really flex into it, you feel these lock in. They don't fight you, they lock in, but they still have rebound, which is nice, because if you're swizzling and sizzling in a butter, high speed, whatever, you need that snap to get out, you've got it. Going a little bit slower, but you still want to get some spring out so you can carry your speed and motion, it's going to be able to do it. If you know how to butter, you're not going to have a problem with this. And this kind of translates over to jibbing. Would this be my first board to choose to jib with from Capita? Oh, hell no. No, not at all. Can it get the job done? Yeah, that's fine. It locks into presses on the features, and when you make it to the end, you're able to snap out. Going sideways, it cradles right around it. This is a board that, if you know what you're doing, gonna be fine. If you don't know what you're doing, probably should learn. But is it gonna hold you back? Not necessarily. Only you will hold yourself back with this board. This board is quick and nimble edge to edge. It allows you to engage your turn off the front foot. You can keep your weight out, guide that front contact point, transition to the middle of the board and drive it off the tail to get that power and spring out of it. If you want to leave a trench with this board, you can. If you're doing short, tight, quick carves, you notice that there's a little more spring out of the tail, which is nice because you kind of just pop off your toe side, land back on the heel side, pop off the heel side, back on the toe side. Medium mellow carves, you can just cruise from one side of the run back to the other with it. You don't have to worry about it. In the past, This has been a little twitchy at slower speeds. This time around, I didn't really notice it. I don't know if they tweaked something with it or if the bass tune had anything to do with it, but it didn't feel hooky to me this time around. It just wanted to stay locked in when I needed it to, and it was flat bassed and perfect when I was just cruising. I didn't have any of that weird like, oh, hey, what's this? You know, like kind of hiccup that you would get from the middle of the board or under your feet. Just wasn't there. So in the past, the older models kind of have had that. I want you to know that I didn't encounter it this time. Not saying it's not out there, just didn't have it happen the day I wrote it. Rider in mind. So who is this board for? It's for the all-mountain ripper that wants one board to do it all. You only own one board, you're doing everything from the peak to the park and in between, and it's gonna cover it very well. Do you wanna support us further? Sure you do, I know you do. Well, if that's the case, swing on over to Angry Snowboarder VIP and become a member. Sure, I could tell you more here, but I got a video over there that explains it so much better. There's something consistent about getting on this board. You feel like you've been on it 100 days, and when you get it up to speed, it comes alive. You can rip turns with it. It's decent in the trees, it's decent in the park, it's decent on a groomer, it's just well-rounded. Whenever I get on this board and I have a great time on it, I just think to myself, I was like, I need to buy one of these because this is the board I should be riding. And like I previously said with carving, I didn't notice it being hooky at all. If anything, it felt like it gripped better this time. The pop is good. Everything's just good on this board. It's just that quintessential rad dad, all mountain freestyle board, one board to do it all. I can't praise this thing enough. Comparable boards, the Ride Shadowban, the Korua Otto, the Rossignol Resurgence. Binding recommendations, the Union Force, the Bataleon Astro Asym, the Yes Select. This has been my review of the Capita Mercury. If you're looking for some bindings for it, why don't you go check out the review of the Union Force or one of the other recommended bindings because they're gonna match up great for this deck.